Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we are talking Carlos King because he went on a rant because Dr. Simone from Married to Medicine called him a blogger. And I'm not sure why he is pressed about this because she's not wrong. So we're going to listen to the audio and I'm going to give my thoughts and my reaction to everything. So let's take a listen.
Dr. Simone, you can say whatever you want to get some attention, baby, because you're not getting any attention on that show. Okay? So you can call me what you want. Your show, you're not getting no attention on the show. You're an OG. Okay? No one talks about Dr. Simone and Married to Medicine. No one. No one. No one cares about anything Dr. Simone has to say. Nobody cares what you have to scream on your own show, child. So you calling me a blogger is not offensive to me, baby. I'm not offended by that. I'm a journalist. You can call me a blogger. You can call me whatever you want to, Dr. Simone, but you won't call me boring. That's what you won't call me, baby. And that's the reason why Married to Medicine was a chop this episode, because maybe Dr. Simone, if you get off of Dr. Jackie's ass, you can really see how your show sucks without plot. But that's okay. You can call me what you want, Simone, but you won't call me boring. Because no one cares what Dr. Simone has to say, and I love you. And I love Cecil. And I love the kids. Okay? Bye, Dr. Simone. Now I gave you something to talk about because no one else is talking about your storyline and the apartments that you have, honey, on your portfolio.
So that was Carlos King. He says that Simone has nothing going on, but basically you gave her to have something going on with this response to her calling you a blogger. You said that you're not offended by her calling you a blogger, but then you unnecessarily go in on her. Make it make sense. So anybody that is on this platform that is reviewing shows, is doing recaps, is doing interviews, you are a blogger. And you're a vlogger if you're doing it on video. I don't understand, you keep saying that you're not offended and you're not upset about it, but you literally just gave Simone a platform unnecessarily. And when is the last time Simone has been at Dr. Jackie's behind? Because their friendship has not been the same for quite some time. I would argue that Dr. Jackie is closer to Dr. Heavenly these days, if we want to keep it a buck, compared to the 20-plus year friendship that Simone and Dr. Jackie had. And Simone is closer to Toya these days. So I'm not sure where those comments coming from, and I'm not sure the comments about the apartments are coming from and what all of that's supposed to mean. Like you throw things out there, but then there's no follow up. And what if Dr. Simone responds and says that, instead of talking about her, why don't you talk more about your shows on the Oprah Winfrey Network, such as Love and Marriage Huntsville and the Bell Collective show, instead of all of the Bravo shows? Make it make sense. So here's what Dr. Heavenly was speaking on when she had said a few weeks back that Carlos King is biased. The thing is that it gets to a point where there is a line that is crossed of being a little bit too heavily involved with some of these housewives, with some of these cast members, that a line is crossed. And you can't take out your personal bias and your personal preference of who your favorite cast members are versus who you don't really rock with or you don't really see it for. And you're not, separating, okay, maybe you don't like their storyline on the show, but it's becoming personal now to where if you have an allegiance to Quad, now you are, going scorch earth on all of her enemies that are still on the show. And that's just not right. It's not your battle. It's Quad's battle with what she, needs to say with her co-stars. But again, this is what people are talking about. This is what Dr. Heavenly is talking about, how you do not approach the same housewives, you don't approach the same reality stars in the same way. And that's why some of them get upset like this, like Dr. Simone. If she feels that you're providing favoritism to certain cast members, such as Quad, of course she's going to speak out about it. Because she's looking at it from the perspective of you're not being fair. And, you're solely believing Quad's version of events because you like Quad. But there could be other behind the scenes stuff that Simone knows about or somebody else knows about that you may not be privy to. Because, of course, Quad is going to say in an interview, in an exclusive with you, all of the things that are going to make her look good. Why would she expose anything that's going to make her look bad? Like, let's keep it a buck for what it is. The favoritism and the bias is why these people continue to call you out, Carlos. And you keep saying you're not bothered, but you devoted a whole segment to Simone. If you didn't care what Simone says, you wouldn't have responded. But again, these reality stars see how you conduct certain, interviews and relationships with some of these reality stars. They see how you treat them when you fall out with certain ones. They see how you act when you show preference to certain ones and all of the things. And they have a right to speak their mind if they feel that you're giving a biased opinion on something based on the fact that you personally prefer somebody better than somebody else. Then that is not a fair assessment of the situation. How is this with love? And you're saying that basically Simone's boring and that nobody's talking about Simone or, her storylines or whatever. But really, if we want to keep it a buck, the show has been boring since Mariah was iced out. Like the show hasn't been the same since, regardless of who's in the cast. And last I checked, one person is not representative of an entire ensemble cast. But for whatever reason, when people want to play favorites and do these ice out things with certain cast members, it ruins the chemistry of the show. And really, if we want to keep it a buck, there had been things escalating with Quad for a few years now. So I'm actually surprised that it took this long for the group to finally say, you know what, we're done. But you don't want to talk about that because that's not going to put Quad in the best light. But we have to be honest about all the situations before just going ahead and just dragging people for the simple fact that you have a closer relationship with Quad. Because Simone and other cast members are going to see through that, and Dr. Heavenly already called you out about it because she saw the difference in how you treated Quad versus her. And you guys do recaps together. And calling yourself a journalist, I would disagree because there's a lot of things that you do that journalists are not supposed to do. And that was why you were called a blogger. Journalists do not, show this kind of a bias. They're supposed to be fair and not take sides, not take allegiance, and ask the fair and pertinent questions, not just asking messy questions or questions that are going to cause a certain reaction that you're looking for because that is on the lines of a blogger. But an actual journalist, there is a level of professionalism that exists, and they're not going to cross a certain line. And you can call it cookie cutter questions, or even the hard hitting questions aren't as, hard hitting as, you would on a messier platform. But nonetheless, there is, certain rules and certain protocols that they follow because they want to, keep their reputation intact. I get that you want to be the Black Andy Cohen. But what is the cost of all of this? And what is the cost if people notice that you talk way more about Bravo than you do about the Oprah Winfrey Network and your shows that are on there? And meanwhile, the fans are begging for you to pay attention to your shows on the Oprah Winfrey Network. And it's funny because, once again, this proves my point that you were very much aware of what people say and what is going on in the YouTube streets and in the social media streets and everything else, but you blatantly ignore severely problematic people, in particular problematic men, on some of your reality shows, but yet you have all the smoke for these black women. And that's not okay. I mean, you should be able to take this in stride. I have never met anybody on YouTube that hasn't had shade thrown at them, whether it was from a reality star that didn't like something that they said in a video or whoever. But this notion that everybody is going to like you is ludicrous. And this notion that people aren't going to see through how you treat certain cast members versus others on a show that you review, you have to take some accountability and culpability there. That if Dr. Heavenly sees it and Simone sees it, then everybody else sees it. But it's just funny that people want us to victimize Quad when she was a part of the takedown of Mariah the first time. And we said this was going to happen to the other cast members. Once they were successful icing out one person, they were going to do it to other cast members. And it's no different from the Housewives shows. That's why all of the Housewives shows are stagnant. That's why Love and Marriage Huntsville had been stagnant for a few years, because your cast tried to ice out Melody Cherie. But then when you need Melody Cherie and the millimeters for views and all of the things, then you butter up to her and make it seem like everything's on the up and up. Meanwhile, everything is going viral on social media at the time about the revenge pee that her ex-husband Martell, was trying to, spread around and distribute. And having the help of his side chick, who you called the full restaurant. And you're up here crying at a reunion because Melody, Cherie, and Martell are no more. And you keep trying to set up situations for them to get back together when things are beyond repair. I just don't understand. You're too personally involved with a lot of these reality stars. And here's the thing, you can be friends with these people. Andy Cohen talks about that all the time about, the housewives that text him all the time or call him all the time or whatever. But there has to be a line that is drawn. There has to be a line to where everybody is going to get the same treatment. Everybody is going to be treated fairly. And if people consent and are calling you out this early into your YouTube career, then that means they are going to have a problem. That is going to prevent them in the future from wanting to speak with you. Because they're going to go to rival bloggers, rival podcasts, instead of going to you, because they're going to feel you're not going to be fair with them. They're going to feel that you're going to ask them inappropriate questions or messy questions that you've heard from other cast members in under the guise of spilling tea or whatever, trying to make them look bad versus just getting to the facts. But you want a reaction so bad out of these reality stars for content, and it's ridiculous. If you put this much energy into Love and Marriage Huntsville and the Bell Collective and everything else that is on the Oprah Winfrey Network, I guarantee you ratings would be a lot higher than what they are. But you're so fixated on Bravo shows to the point people think that you're trying to go back to Bravo. Because I don't understand this obsession. I don't understand, this need to be so personally involved with these people. It is just a reality show. And we know to an extent, not everybody is revealing their real storylines. Not everybody is truly being authentic. Not everybody is showing up at their proper casting time to film scenes. Not everybody is playing ball. But instead of trying to get to the facts, you are too biased in your personal love for Quad that you're not looking at the bigger picture. That if the entire cast felt there were issues with Quad to where she felt she was too good for the group, or she wasn't showing up or showing up late to film stuff, or completely just, going from talking to them and spending time with them outside of filming to just completely abandoning them and only showing up when she feels like it, if that's what their perception is, why are you questioning that? Because you're friends with Quad? That's not acceptable. If 5 and 6 people are saying one thing, why is it that, you're throwing shade at them on behalf of Quad? Where's the accountability that Quad may have said or done things that have turned off these cast members? That maybe they did have an issue with her not showing up to work on time or showing up when she felt like it and making all these demands. Maybe they felt a certain way. Maybe they were sick of it. Maybe this has been going on for several seasons. And like I said, they had enough. But this thing where we're just going to go back and forth with different reality stars that are not favorites of yours, and you should know better than anybody as a producer what does and doesn't make the show, sometimes can paint certain narratives and can leave out key information if they don't want, something to be too damaging against a person. So how is it fair to just randomly go in like that on Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Simone? For what? You know what I mean? Like, it's not cool. It's not cool at all. It's not professional at all. You're fully aware as a producer how this stuff goes, and how not everybody is authentic, and how not everybody brings it and brings their storylines and all of the things. But we also don't know what was left on the cutting room floor as well. We also don't know, what was left out of Simone's storyline this season. We don't know. We weren't there in the room, cutting the footage. We have no idea. But again, why alienate these people? And you're supposed to be an executive producer. You're supposed to be promoting your other shows on the Oprah Winfrey Network, but you are so immersed in Bravo. You're giving Bravo the clout. You're giving Bravo all of the clout. You're giving all of their shows all of the clout and all of the views and all of the things. And this minute thing that has you pressed, but there were real severe issues going on Love and Marriage Huntsville that you were completely mute about, speaks to what people are talking about the favoritism, about the bias, about, how personally involved you are with some of these people, to the point you can't be fair and non-judgmental. And then there's people that you've just fallen out with altogether. So how is it a fair assessment? And, they feel like they're being slighted. So I'm curious if Simone is going to respond to this or not. But nonetheless, why get into a social media beef with these reality stars? Especially your background. But you don't want to be called a blogger. But you're playing right into the hands of what some of these bloggers do. Because that's not what a journalist does. So there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.